We're going live just to take a quick look around, check on everything. It's NATO, and we can actually see the bottom of the pond. Check that out. So that's coming along nicely. We added a heater yesterday. You see that stuff heater down there. Eventually we'll get this set in there where we don't see the cord. We're going to do something with all this though. We're going to figure it out. I don't know what, but we're going to figure it out. And you can see we've got reduced the splash quite a bit. Kind of don't want to touch it. And again, just a little bit can really make a big difference. Kind of see it splash now. Yeah, just keeping an eye on that splash. You can see it. But it's not bad. You know, it's just a splash here and there. It's not getting to the point where it's running down anything. So that's good. We can see the pump. It's definitely getting cleared up in the pond. See the bottom. I can see it really well. I'm not sure. Well, it looks like you can see it pretty good. What's going on, E-Train? Appreciate Scott. Appreciate everybody coming by. We're just doing a quick walkthrough, really. Don't have a whole lot to do today in here, but just walk around here. We got our show coming up tonight at 6 with Agro Soil Discoveries. Tonight at 6, so 6 p.m. Eastern on this channel. We'll go live again, and we're going to bring in Mo with Agro Soil, and we're going to dive into the microscope and just start talking about soil and whatever anybody else wants to talk about, really. We're day 52 of flower over here. And we've got Cooter and Scooter over there. What's up, Coot? Scoot. Scoot's down there eating. It's like picking off my Monstera root, probably. You can see that Monstera root that runs around through there. We just completely eat that all up. That's why we can't really have, excuse me, any plants in the pond, in this pond anyway. This new pond over here is just going to have fish, so we're going to plant a lot of aquatic plants in there. Over here, Cooter and Scooter don't allow plants to grow in their vicinity other than this grass here, but even that they'll pick at. Do you, Coot? So you don't allow no greenery down here. Greenery goes in and out. Appreciate it, George. My throat is clogged up right now. We got some danglers going on over there. Look, everything's dangling. This one here is about a couple weeks behind the rest. You can see in size, but the terps are there. Let me tell you. The terps are there. This is Lunar Cheese from Luna Whitcomb. Funky. This one is Orangeline from OK Calyx. This one took the hardest hit during the crash. If you haven't been around, we crashed the system about 22 days ago now. And it did not look like this. Believe me, we were losing a lot of our grass. You can see the dead grass that is kind of just pulling out, but grass is coming back. The algae is coming back. We basically killed off all our cyanobacteria. If you don't know what that is our photosynthetic bacteria. It is basically, or syngetic, excuse me, that's synthetic, syngetic. That bacteria, here, I'll show you. We've got some right over here. But this is our APSU line of soil here. But this is purple non-sulfur bacteria. This is from my buddy Mo. This is his mother culture. And everybody knows Brandon Russ. This is his Microbes Plus. You can see right there, photosynthetic bacteria, lactic acid bacteria, fermented yeast. This will clean all of that. Basically, it just eats up the organic matter, the poo, brings back basically the oxygen providers, like the algae, like this algae here. See, this is our poo trap. So this is what traps the poo, cleans the creek, so to speak, before it gets back to the pond. Because there is no filtration box. So there's no filtration. All we run are Chemi Pure bags. So that's just full of biochar. And then I've got this kind of big green pad that really catches a lot of big stuff. But that's all we do. Just every now and then I'll pull this out. So pull that out. Let all that water get up in there. But yeah, we just take the water hose, clean that out. It's not too bad right now. Clean that out. Bring it back in here, set it down, set a rock on it, we're good to go. We can see that we're connected. We were connected to the sand, to the creek wall there, to the creek. What am I trying to say? We're connected to sand and silt to the terrestrial side of the creek wall there, which wicks water up, watering the plants, keeping everything nice and moist. Good afternoon, everybody. Runs, Vinny. I'm not going to be on here very long. Right now, we're going to be live at 6 o'clock. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and Mo will be episode number 1 of Soil Discoveries. And we're going to be talking all kinds of stuff about soil microbes, cannabis, how it relates to everything, basically all plants. This is our new leaf. My throat is fucked. Nice. I apologize for that. Bong hit got me. Make my nose run. I can't fucking do shit. Try some of this water here. Yeah. Fucking got me, boy. So here we are over here. We can see the floor now. Definitely starting to clean up. We added a little heater over there. Got the heater set at about 75-ish, 76-ish, somewhere around there. Tomato plant right here, still looking good. You know, we're only running 12 hours of light right now. So probably could run a couple more, but we got those over there. That's day 52 flower. So we only got probably, hopefully maybe only 10 to 20 days left. This is my basil. Yep, basil. Then we were playing with the splash zone over here. So just moving rocks around, trying to get the splash right. You can literally just change that little bit and it will change the flow, change the splash. You can see kind of a splash coming off the top. Just keep an eye out there. And that was keeping this over here nice and moist. And that over there. Well, we got some good drop points in here. Good aeration all the way around, that's for sure. You could definitely put more water in the pond, but I'm not going to right now. I just don't need to. Just gonna let that clear up first. Let it do its little cycle here. We have added some Microbes Plus. We put some purple non-sulfur bacteria around the edges. Put my own lab in there. Should clean up quite nicely. I put some logs in there. Get us a nice little aquascape going. Cover this all up. You can see this little platform we got right here. This is for future use for digger or turtles or whatever. If they want to come across, they're going to be able to come across here, have access. And they'll be able to either hit the creek and then we'll build maybe a bridge, like a wooden bridge that comes over the creek and connects to this. They can just walk right on over, drop in, have a log that runs up here, it sets on here, it runs down. They'll be able to walk up the log, over the bridge. So that's full access to both ponds. Digger doesn't really hang out at the pond. He might like the creek. I don't know, but we'll see. Digger usually hangs out around the edges of the creek or water where it's real nice and wet, but he seems to be really into his little home over here. If you don't know who Digger is, see if we can find Digger. Digger is our baby box turtle. Where you at, Digger? There he is. I see him. There's Dig. He's all up in his little home over there. We found him a new little spot. Then our Monstera, this thing has gotten a little crazy. Got our aloe over there, which we take whenever we want some cuts. We can just take a piece of aloe off of there and stick the cut inside the aloe cut. And yeah, great for cuts. Great for your sunburn. Great for taking cuttings off your plants and rooting them. It's a great rooting agent. There's our 3-foot Monstera leaf. And then the new one that's popping off of that one. You can see the fractures in the center. We've gotten more. Each new leaf, we get new slits or new fractures. This one's really cool because it's got like almost like 2 at the top, 1 big one in the middle, and 2 at the bottom, all the way down. Then you get more. Yeah, aloe is a must. You gotta have an aloe plant. Grandma always had an aloe plant sitting on her kitchen counter. Always. Look at these things over here. Let me stretch this pole out here. We'll get over here. I'm not going to crawl on the rocks right now, but I do need to lift this up. Don't look too bad to me. I'm letting them dangle mainly because I just want the light to hit the lowers. And when they dangle like that, all that light's going to be hitting those side branches just like under canopy lights, almost. So just remove all the leaves and let the light hit the shit out of them. Let's go over here. I appreciate that, R1. Yeah, it's fun just hanging out in here. They look like they're doing okay. They were locked out for a while. The leaves just went into full lockout mode. We were overwatering. Well, it was overwatered, but not only that, we were always overwatering, but we were just removed the oxygen from the water, and then nothing could breathe, and everything shut down. The microbes that were producing all our nutrients to our plants basically just went into cyst mode and shut down. Get basically nutrient lockout. We're not there now. We've recovered from that, but now we're probably pumping too much. And plants just don't have the time to recover. These are annual plants. They're here and gone in a few months. Well, 4 months or so. But unlike our bush here, which we saw start to yellow, we've started to get, started to see the hit, started to see the crash. Now, since then, we see a new growth, and everything's starting to look a lot better than what it was. Had to do a lot of pruning. But we did a reset, but you can see all the new growth in the bush. The bush is always here, so that means the roots are always here. That means we're always pumping carbon into the soil. We're always pushing sugars, and the plant's doing what it does by taking that light and pumping those sugars and carbohydrates and all that good science stuff that people like to talk about. I'm not really qualified to talk about it, but I'll just repeat what I've learned. You know what I mean? I can actually see I can see it in a system like this. But I can actually mimic what I've learned and then literally just watch it happen. Watch it happen and then just steward the bed as I need be. So if I need to see something, if something's probably going to go wrong, it's probably because of me. Like me fucking with the lights. I crashed the system by simply turning on those red lights and turning off the white lights and cooking not realizing that the water was really intensifying that light, and it was crushing my algae. My algae died off. All that green algae you see along the edges, gone. My shrimp took a hit, lost almost all of those. Everything just crashed hard, and it only took like a week. So it took me a year and 5 months to get it to that point, and then it just was all gone in like a week and a half. And that's what happens when you start fucking with shit and you do things that things aren't used to. You don't know. I didn't have the knowledge. Now I have the knowledge, and now we've got the algae back. So a quick explanation of this is just simply that we don't have a filtration. The string algae here you see floating, that is our filtration. See it kind of swaying back right there? That's catching a lot of poo, a lot of shit. And we can just take it and pull it out of here as need be and remove it and then feed this algae to our microbiology, our worms, our nematodes, everything that's living up in here loves that algae. It's like eating ice cream. It's full of bacteria, full of fish waste, turtle waste, and it's been composted. If you think about it, it's flowing through a creek, it's coming down a waterfall, it's circulating, it's basically composting tea in the creek all the time, being wicked up sidewalls into the soil pockets where the critters can eat and shit there until their heart's content. And the trick is just keeping that moisture level consistent. And if it's consistent, things get crazy until we start fucking it up with the lights and stuff. But if we don't fuck it up, things get on a roll and they'll get better and better and better. All we got to do is cut these plants out, plant new ones right beside it, change the light cycle, basically go from 12 to like maybe a 16 or 17. Most people do 18. We're not going to go 18. We were at 18. We're not going to go 18 this time, simply because we're going to be growing food over there. At the same time, we're growing cannabis. We're going to kind of mimic my outdoor time frame as close as possible. So right around now is like pretty much we get the most sunlight right around now. It's the middle of June. We're getting like what, 14 and a half, 15 hours of light. So that's probably what I'll run. It's like 15 hours. And then when we go to flower, I'll just cut it back to 12. And that will trigger everything and hopefully keep everything in the same cycle. Some things are like when it comes to food, you know, like broccoli likes it cold. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't like a lot of light. There are certain things that are going to do well and certain things that aren't going to do well. And we'll just figure that out. Most people, but we're indoors, so you know it's totally different when we bring everything indoors. By the time we get done with these flowers, there'll be no leaves left on it. She is funky. And nice tight nodes. I mean, nice buds. Very tight. That's a good thing. When they're nice and tight like that, and not all airy and fluffy. Can't believe they're this. I mean, well, I can believe because that stress that we put them through. But we didn't crash it all the way. We caught it. That was the biggest thing. We caught it. We saw it happening. And we caught it and we turned it around just in time, I think, before we lost it all. So that was cool. Knowing the right people, having the knowledge to be able to do that is very important. You can see where I've disconnected over here. Still stays wet, but it's drying out kind of, but you go just a little bit. And there's the roots. We're going to do a reset on this next run. I'm going to be just reset, but putting fresh soil in. Soil is shrunk down so low because everything's just being broken down so fast. So we got to keep adding compost and adding good soil. So we're being sponsored by APSU now. So they've already got, he's got these basically amendment bags or bags you can just use for whatever type of soil you want. Like this is bog, for bog plants. Like this is just got a lot of sand in it. This is desert biome, another sandy for mammals and reptiles. That's a forest biome, island biome, desert. We got forest, tropical plants over here. So all of these are different setups for different things. I was going to use the bulb because the bulb holds a tremendous amount of moisture. It's basically what we're doing right now is creating a bulb. So this is inspired by Virginia's Great Dismal Swamp. So it's packed full of beneficial microbes, fungi, organic compounds, keep roots thriving, holds moisture like a sponge, which is exactly what we got going on in here. So something like this is just beneficial fungi and bacteria that we can add, kind of like almost like a bokashi almost, but it's just made to plant seeds in. So all we have to do is just spread some out. I'm only going to do a little bit right now, but I wanted to see what it looks like. And we just work some of this in. Let's see what it looks like. That's nice. Worms are gonna love that shit. Worms love that grit. They really do. Oh, there's APSU. What's up, buddy? Yeah, there you go. You can explain your stuff. This is what I was going to use just around the edge here. So I disconnected some of this, but we're going to reconnect it with this bog soil. And don't forget, we got our new show tonight, 6 o'clock. Me and Mo with Agro Soil. We're going to be deep diving into the soil. We've got all kinds of cool stuff to look at. And eventually we're going to be, we're going to hopefully turn this into a once a week soil discovery show. This will be episode 1, and hopefully people like it, and we'll keep doing it. And grow from there. We're going to start off we're going to treat this like we're in school. We're going to start off as like in kindergarten, and we're going to grow from there. So we're going to kind of treat it like we're just beginners, and because I am. And but there's a lot of people out there who have a whole lot more knowledge than what I have and what Mo has. So we're going to get these people on. And people like Matt Powers, like Dennis from APSU. Don't you worry, you're going to get on there, of course. And it's going to be fun. We're going to make it fun. It's going to be like, instead of just having a couple of guys sit around and talk shit, we're going to actually put something in front of your face that we can learn and grow and expand our knowledge. Hopefully ending up in a few years at the quantum level, you know what I mean? Like deep diving deep into water vortexes and proton energy, protons and electrons and all kinds of good shit. I want to hear from people who actually know what they're talking about there. I'm the guy who builds it to show it off, see what we can do, and then get these people on who have been teaching it. Basically, the people who got me here, now they can explain what the hell I'm seeing. And I can send them samples. Like, I've been sending Mo samples of my soil. We can put them on the scope. That's what we're going to be looking at this afternoon. We can actually see, you can see the soil before the crash and during the crash. I haven't sent any soil after the crash because it hasn't been that long yet. But I'm getting ready to send them another sample of 6 or 7 samples from around the bed. So we have zones in the bed. So this is pocket 1 right here. So this will be 1. That's 2. 3 is the big over there, and 4 is the middle. 5 is the creek, and 6 is the pond. That's how we roll. And then we're going to have new stuff over here that we'll be able to look at. This is using all APSU living soil and super soil mix. And we're just getting started with this. Because what? Thinking in the chat, your background is too much green. Green and white. I don't know, in my chats? I don't know what you're talking about there, Jeremy. I don't know how to fix that. I'll try. I'll see what we got. I can't see that. I just see your chat down here scrolling at the bottom. When I'm live, anyway. I can't turn it sideways like you're supposed to, because when you're live, you can't turn it sideways. And you don't have many options when you're live. I don't think, anyway. I might, but I haven't really looked at it. Could be green and white coming from these lights. Grand Masters ain't no joke. You got the Ferrari lights over here. So I've noticed too that this water flow is really throwing a lot of pee coming down through here. Like it builds up right in here. I can create just dig down a little bit and create another little pool there. That's going to create a whole new flow. Hey, Pulse. Yeah. Pulse is in the house. What's going on, Pulse Grove? There you go, right there. Use it every day. If you're interested, yeah, if you don't use Pulse, man, they're awesome. Everybody uses Pulse. Now you can save 10%. I think. Is it 5 or 10%? I forget. I think it's 10. Depending on what you buy. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're coming along. We built this whole new garden for the food side. So we got a little tomato here. We got the tomato. There it is, 5%. Yeah, save 5% with a discount code Yellow Skunk. I'll throw you a little plug in there. But yeah, the tomatoes looking really good. I mean, 12 hours of light right now because I just threw it in here from outside just to get some roots in here. We just planted some little bit of wheatgrass seed around the edges, trying to get some grass growing. I got a little sweet potato here, looking good. And I got some basil up there in the corner. Oh, the turtles. Yes. Cooter and Scooter and Digger. Oh, excellent. Look at this pond over here. Yeah. Look how crystal clear that is. What's up, Coot? Here, I'll lean over here and I'll get him. Let's see if I can. Well, yeah, he's pretty quick. He sees me coming. He thinks I'm gonna feed, but usually they'll come to me if I stick my finger in here. I think I'm getting ready to give him a worm or something. And maybe I can snatch him. And there's Scooter over there. Getting big. She's getting a big girl. She's gonna be a big girl. And then Tooter over there, getting old. You can see his tail starting to turn white. He's probably, golly, he's got to be 2 years old now. I think they usually make about 3, 4. I'm not sure. Big goldfish. Yeah, they just want to eat everything. You can't have any plants in the pond. Plants not allowed. Scooter and Scooter don't allow anything dangling like the dichondra grass. As soon as it gets in their reach, they're eating that. The only thing they don't really like to munch on is this wiregrass. But yeah, that's why we're gonna have this one. We are going to plant plants all through there. This one's gonna set up a little differently. Get some aquatic plants going in there. Maybe some lily. Definitely want a lily pad in there. Something to help clean that water. And we've got grass gonna grow around the edges. All this grass here is, you just took plugs from over here. So hopefully one day it'll be all like this. Eventually, of course, this side flows a lot slower. It's set up totally different. We're, like I said, we're trying two different techniques, so to speak. This is a flat, fast flow. We're going to get roots all around this edge. It's very deep. It's a lot deeper. So it's almost 12 inches deep at this area here. But the sand and silt fill it up. But that just gives us a shit ton more surface area. So we had shorter creek, but more surface area. We have a longer creek, but not as deep over there. We got more room over there. We didn't have as much room over here, but I wanted to create that waterfall that really forced water down. We can create pools, like little pockets, like what we did here. You can see that the bubbles come on down and can enter that little pool section there. Every once in a while we'll get a bubble in that little area. It's kind of like a little gold trap. You trap debris like this. As it comes through there, it's just got to have enough flow, enough power flow to push it on through there. Appreciate that, Pulse. Yeah, it's definitely, it's a learning experience. We're trial and error here. So, you know, I added, this is the only connection we have to the creek right now. We had it all connected all through here and over here as well. And that way too much water flooding our, well, not flooding, I can't say it flooded, but it actually gave us exact kind of information that we needed. And that's why I had it up there, because that's our regulator, that's our water. So when we put sand and silt on the edge here, the more we put, the more water we wick. We disconnect, this dries out. Whatever's connected to the flowing water will wick water up and bring it into the soil pocket. It'll only go so far in the soil. The soil only holds so much moisture. Then it will run down the creek wall. All that water runs down, because this soil will contract and allow that water to run down the creek wall into our soil hole here, which the soil is separated by the sand and silt. So you can see the layer, that clay layer. You see clay, then you see sand and peat. The soil sits on top of that. So water runs all the way past the soil, through the clay, down into the peat, down to the bottom, where it'll just sit there until the roots that we get in the system get down there and wick that water up. So we got to get plants in here to start wicking water up before we can connect to the creek. If we don't, we get water over there, and that's where it's supposed to be. We have the pond rubber liner here. So you can see actually the soil sits right here. Water can go from here all the way to here. So you've got, you know, almost a foot, 8 to 10 inches of pea sand, silt, pea gravel, everything that's in the reservoir or in the creek and in the pond come up to here. Clay layer on top of that, soil on top of clay. All the extra water runs down all the way to the floor. Can fill up down here. It can fill up all the way to here. It'll separate the soil from the water. It's an earth box. Simple. Just because we have water over there doesn't mean like I can grab this soil right here and it's not wet, but I'll get it all over the floor. And it's also sitting out on the edge too, so it's it's dry. But you come in here, and if you connect that to this, you dig down a little bit through that sand, the worms will come up, pile all through this. You get down to the soil layer underneath your mulch. So underneath the mulch, we put the sand and silt, all that on top of the mulch, and then underneath that is our soil. Stays moist all the time. Plants follow that. Roots, they want to go to the creek wall. That's where I find every time if the roots go to the creek, they just know where the water is. They can feel it here. I don't know what they're doing. They feel the vibration or the flow, whatever it is. They go to the wall. They go to the creek wall. They want to find that water. They want to find that moisture. So wherever we put that line here and connect, I guarantee you, if we plant a plant here, the roots would going to go there. They're not going to go this way. They're going to go that way. They're going to know that this way there's nothing over here, and they're just going to go that way. It's quantum shit. I told you that plants are way smarter than we are. I mean, they figured out how to slow light down and turn it into sugar and shit. So I mean, they're way more farther ahead than we are in this shit. This is created through light. This. Imagine that. This would not be here without that. Without those lights, that plant could not do what it's doing. Take away the soil, I mean, you can put those roots directly in the pond. You ain't got no light, you ain't going to build carbon. That's how this whole thing works. So, if you ain't got good lights, you're not going to be able to, your plants aren't going to be able to create that carbon, that sugar, that everything that photosynthesizes into this is mind-blowing to me. It really is. You're talking about the fastest thing on the universe, that light wave. Nothing's faster than light. And somehow that leaf has captured it and turned it into sugar and carbon and turned it into what you see. Pretty cool. Yeah, they need soil. I ain't saying they don't need soil. But, I see people growing in, and then they damn, what do you call them? Hydroponic things, I haven't seen one where they don't taste like shit yet, but that's just me. I haven't personally experienced any type of hydroponic grown stuff that actually tastes decent. Anything like what this smells like right now. It's just the microbes. It's another level. I mean, mankind can do it all he wants to. Nothing compares to nature. That's just my opinion. Nothing compares to, if you can dial in a good system. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, guys. So please, it's it's a trial and error thing. But I guarantee you one thing, is that I won't quit. And this will get dialed in to the point where we'll dial in the lights, we'll dial in the soil, we'll dial in the water, and it'll be a self-sustained system growing non-stop 24/7. I'll be constantly pulling shit out of here, from flowers to food to fish. That's the point. And then learn along the way. Like, we're going to learn everything we can. We're going to be sending soil samples off, watching it change, watching it develop. We get problems, we can see the problems under the microscope. It's really cool stuff. And, you know, even if you're not into organic growing, even if you grow, I love all grows. That's I love however you want to grow. I'm cool with just grow. This here though will take you all the way. You know what I mean? This is next level. You can take it all the way to the quantum side of shit. Like it's crazy. It's mind blowing what we're learning. And as technology gets better, the microscopes get better. We see new things, and now we have to explain new things. And the only way to explain it is to experience it, see it for ourselves. And this is just, I think, one way we could do that. And build biology all at once, like build upon the soil that we put in here. And it should, with the clays and the sands and the silt, it should just get better and better and better. All we have to do is amend what we need to amend and just let it go. Just feed the pond, let the pond feed the creek, let the creek feed the soil feed the plants. We need to keep the lights on, we need to keep the temperature right, and let nature do its thing. That's where I'm at anyway. And I'm just going to share the journey as best I can. That's where we're at. So that's why we started Soil Discoveries. That's why we're going to have people on, and that's why we're going to, explore this shit. We don't know everything. We know like 1%, 2% at best. And that's the highest level of what's going on down there. It's crazy. And you look at it, and you can talk about it, get people on, and then actually see it live in real time. It's next level. I'm telling you, your brain will click, and it'll go, oh shit, that's how that works. Oh shit, that's how nitrogen can be. Oh shit, that's how dissolved oxygen gets to the plants from the creek. Oh shit, crazy stuff. Quantum shit. It's quantum stuff. And I started the show just because I've met so many people. The community is so vast and so good, for the most part, and it's just I can get in touch with people who really know a lot more than me, and I'm gonna get those people on the show. And me and Mo's way smarter than me when it comes to the soil and Mike. That's his world. My world is basically building the structure to provide the information and the visual aspects of what these people have been teaching me for the last 4 or 5 years. They didn't even know they were teaching me. You know what I mean? They just were. And learning soil horizons, learning aquaponics, learning hydroponic, learning all the methods of growing cannabis led me to wait a minute, I have everything I need right here on my property that I bought to literally mimic nature indoors and keep a constant, constant environment where we can actually see things play out and not take a break. There's no winter in here. So that's one thing that's totally different. Down in Florida, there's not much of a winter. That's how Mo can do what he does. Most, it's a tropical area. These things never really take a break. They're constantly going, nonstop. So outdoors, I got winter here. Shit shuts down for winter and then pops back to life in the springtime. And here, we don't have to worry about popping back. We're just going to consistently build the soil biome, basically, and see if we can just do a few amendments here and there, top off the soil that's been taken, chop and drop a lot, and just keep on rolling with it. No cost whatsoever. I mean, literally, it doesn't cost me anything now to do this. To grow over here. I'm chopping, I'm cutting, and I'm plugging, and I may foliar spray some of my, ferments, but everything I spray, I make right here. Or I get from people like Mo or APSU. We just got all this stuff laid out. We got his soil, the living soil and the super soil makes sense. So now we're just building upon that. So we start with the best soil we can and build on top of that. What we're going to try and do is not crash the system again like we did over there. Of course, and in the microscope, you can actually see where things change. Like it went from thriving to like everything cysts up and just goes dormant because the conditions were bad. Conditions are bad, and when the conditions are bad, things cyst up, go dormant, and wait for the conditions to get them back, just like wintertime. So we make the conditions, basically just had to go back to the beginning. So you got to start all over again. You got to do a water change, you got to add fresh sand, silt, clay, you got to add your biology back that you killed off, and start that 1.5-year process all over again. So it took 1.5 years to build, took a couple weeks to crash. Isn't that how nature works? Now the show starts, Galaxy, at 6 o'clock tonight. Episode number 1. 6 o'clock tonight is our first show with AgroSoil Soil Discoveries. That's what we're going for. We're going to discover something new. And if we at least something new to us, and then hunt for the answers, you know what I mean? We're going to build a database of microbes. And people have been doing this for a long time. They've been, since we've had a microscope, since we've been able to see the shit, they've been looking at it, but it's just, you can't make no money off of it, so it's, it's rare info. It's hard to bottle microbes if you don't know what you're doing. And not that many corporations do it. They want to rather make it in a laboratory and make you pay $60 a bag for it. But we can do it with organics. We can do it with everything we have around. Organic stuff, no salts, no bottles, just organic soil, chop and drop, microbes, water, light, all the good shit. Yeah, tonight is our first show, 6 o'clock. I'm live here right now just because I've been doing it here recently, and I'm trying to gather data to see when the best time to go live is. Right now, Mondays and Tuesdays at 2 o'clock in the evening are in the lead. We'll see what Thursday and Friday brings. Kind of starting at different times, each day. Like today we started around 1. The other days we started at 2. Yesterday I started at 3. I'm just trying to gather as much info and data as, well, letting YouTube get that data. So, but you've got to do it in order for them to get the data. So, just going to see when we get the most views, really. Monday and Tuesday, Monday we got 12,000 views during our live. Tuesday we got 12,000 views during our live. Wednesday we got 84. Today I don't know. So we went from 12,000 views on Monday and Tuesday to 84 views on Wednesday. So, but we started later. We started an hour later. So YouTube is weird on whether to push, when it'll push it. The algorithm's pretty crazy. I think the title of the video of live matters like a lot. So I don't know, we're just playing around with it, We'll be here a while, so we got time to play. I hope I'll be here a while anyways. Uh-oh, I hear beeping. I hear beeping. It's full. Are we full? We're full. We're full. Still got to get this line run. And putting that off, debating on what I want to do. I got to run this line from here and get it into either that hole there, or I'm going to punch a hole through there, or just going to get this high enough, put it through there, and then build a mountain up a little taller to cover this up. I don't know yet. It'll just happen when it happens. Right now, this is what I'm doing. Easy peasy. Lemon squeeze. Got some Bukashi getting ready to go in too. That's OK Calyx right there. Y'all know who OK Calyx is. If you don't, let me see here. I had something. Oh, I had a picture of this. Is Bukashi. It smells like beer and wine. It's been probably 6 months old now. But believe me, when we get that activated, she's gonna take off. She's gonna take off. Some Bukashi. That's OK Calyx right there. Y'all know OK. Kevin over at OK Calyx. If you want like any type of IMO inputs, like he's got the shit. Like IMO 1, 2, and 3. He loves his IMO. Yeah, that's where we are. We're gonna be going live today at 6 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock now, 10 minutes to 2. Okay. Don't really have much else to look at in here other than what we're looking at. Done pretty much everything. That's my problem, see, just not fucking with nothing. Just look at it for a minute. Have a seat. Stop fucking with shit. Come over here and look at see what's underneath our rock here. Oh, let me zoom in. Let's see. Yeah. Earwig. Dairy cow. Look at the springtails. They love that rock. Look at the springtails. Tiny little buggers, aren't they? I don't know what that thing is there. It looks like a baby earwig almost. Look at the worm. Probably getting ready to poop out a worm casting, maybe. Some mites there. Now imagine all those things that we see right now, all those things shit. They eat and shit. That's the diversity that I'm looking for. We wanted so many different types of bugs and critters down here eating and shitting that the poop loop is on like Donkey Kong. You know what I mean? That's what this is all about. Poop loop. Those are springtails. Yes, the tiny ones. Like those little ones right there. See it right there? That's a springtail. That up there, I don't know, that's like some kind of spider or some shit. Look at that thing. That's not a springtail. But those little tiny ones right there are. Yeah, that's a springtail. That coming down right now, I have no idea what that is. That's some freak show shit right there. It's just like a mini grasshopper almost. But I don't know. If I was tiny, I'd be fucking running. Is that a fly? A fly larva? Weird looking fly. Oh yeah, we got life. Yeah, we got life. Now imagine what that is under a microscope. All that doo-doo harboring more life and bacteria. Look at this guy. He's almost golden. He's a dairy cow, golden dairy cow. That looks like a blue springtail up underneath the dairy cow there. These are all just organic matter breaker downers. Did I say that right? They like to eat organic matter. And the best thing about eating is that what you eat, it's got to come out. And when it comes out, it's that much closer joining the cycle, huh? Look at the worm cycling the sand and shit through its body. You stand there long enough, it'll pop out a little worm casting. You'll see right there where that big ass springtail is, right out of his butthole. It's just waiting for that casting to come out. That's life right there. Life at its finest. Oh yeah, you can see it. That's that grit, like that silt. That silt and that clay. All the silts and different types of clays and material that's in that creek sand. Imagine all the bacteria and just loaded with bacteria and crap coming out of that creek sand and that all the fish waste, turtle waste. Those worms will run through all that, releasing all the, turning it into whatever it is they turn it into, poop it out their butthole, and voila. You have more food for other things, and continue to eat that poo, and then they poo that out, and poo, and then you keep on going until the poo train ends. And once the poo train ends, humic and fulvic acids, and all kinds of liquid goodies that the plants can uptake. They need that moisture. And then the plant takes the sunlight. What these guys are releasing, the plant then can actually send a signal down to these microbes telling them, hey, I need nitrogen, I need calcium, I need phosphorus, I need this, I need that. Hey, we're switching over now. I'm going to flower. I need more potassium. I need more, this and that. And they'll go out, get it, and bring it back to the root zone. Now, you got to remember, this is, you're talking microscopic here. And we're going to see that tonight. That's the cool part about being able to talk about this, see it right here, and then go deeper and see actually what's eating their shit. Like, we can't see that stuff. But the cycle continues after what we can see. We just need that microscope to be able to see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And kind of light bulbs will start going off in your head, and you'll go, oh shit, it's a poop loop. It's a fucking poop flute. That's exactly what it is. And it ends at the bacteria and fungi. So bacteria don't really have an intestinal tract, so they're not going to be, they don't eat and shit like everything else down here. The fungi don't do that either. So it kind of ends at the bacteria and fungi. And but you got to remember the bacteria are consuming things, releasing things when they get full. But then most of all these guys are eating. That's bacteria food. You know, bacteria is food for all these critters. So the more bacteria you have, the more food you have, the more food you have, the more nutrient cycling you have. But you got to have it all. You got to have the moisture. You got to have the water. You got to have food. So the creek supplies all of this. The constant moisture, constant food, constant bacteria buildup. We just have to learn how to manage it properly. Once we do that, it's on, like Donkey Kong. On like Donkey Kong. We don't have to do anything but maintain environment, light, and let these guys, and replace, chop and drop is important. Adding what's been taken is important. We have to replace what's been taken. Same way like, storms blow in fresh sand and silt into the Amazon. The rivers flood, flooding the edges of the rivers with fresh sand and silt from the mountains. These are all things that we have to mimic. So I simply just bring in the fresh sand and silt and sprinkle it along the edges. That's just fresh. Just think of it as fresh food for all the critters. I'm sure they've had enough by now. And we just have to be careful. We can't do it all at once. We do it all at once, we flood this. We're going to pull too much water over the wall. We're going to flood our system. Well, not flood, but we're going to put too much water in our E horizon, which is fine. It's where it's supposed to be. But it's a regulator. It's just a way for me to know that, hey, you're wicking a lot of water and the plants aren't taking it up. So if I see that, I know I can just disconnect. When it dries up, I know that I can reconnect. It's really that simple. All this is a valve. This stuff is a valve. I can cut it on and off as I need water in my E horizon. So instead of me just bringing in a water hose and filling up my E horizon with a water hose, I can literally do the same by wicking this activated water, so to speak. When I say that, I mean like it's full of fish. It's going to be full of fish shit and waste, and it's going to need to be cleaned. These things along the way are what's going to be cleaned. It's going to be wicking that water up. All the dissolved oxygen is going to come up through here. All the excess. If we see excess, we just disconnect. And voila! Let the plants wick that water up. Reconnect when we don't see the water over there anymore, and it's just that simple. The water is supposed to be there. The soil is completely separate. You can actually see this over here. So you can see where the soil and the clay meet. Okay, so you see the clay layer there. Soil sitting on top of that clay layer. And silt, and you can see that, all that sand underneath the clay. So that water would have to come all the way up. It's like 7 inches from the bottom. All the way up to get to that soil. So soil is not sitting in water. It is in an E horizon where it is supposed to be. And it's being stored down there, waiting. And it can wait down there because there's no soil down there. It's just this stuff that's supposed to be down there. It's aquatic in nature and it will not go anaerobic. That process has already been taken care of because the organic matter inside of all of that has been basically broken down to its finest form, basically into silt. And silt is mostly broken down trees, just thousands of years. This stuff is what isn't sand. The sand is a big part. That's a big piece of sand right there, a big particle. All that sand, all that silt, and you see the little brown, black pieces, almost little tiny things. That's what the worms are after. All that tiny stuff that you see there, silt. Most of that is organic matter that's been broken down over thousands of years to its finest. And then the worms run through it and turn it into this. And then we're off to the races. Just got to go through a cycle. Got to go through that. Once we get fish in there, that fish waste will absorb up into this sand and silt, giving more food to the worms. The worms will then come in. They'll be all along the edges. Wherever we got sand and silt, they will be in there eating that shit up. As long as there's enough oxygen in the water, they can go right in the water. You can dig down in the creek and actually find worms in the creek. Like, they don't care. As long as there's water down there, air down there, they're eating and just taking this shit to town. This is all worm castings. It all used to be what I just showed you. Like, that's all worm casting. Let's see if I can get but the life on that stuff under a microscope is insane. And it's insane because it's consistent. Like, it's got a consistent water source with plenty of bacteria in it to feed all the worms. This is Agate Alley. We got these sent to us by Mass Creations. Check him out on Instagram, Mass Creations. These are agates from a quarry in, I think, Minnesota. Really cool stuff, though. I love rocks. Like this one here is like one of my favorites. Looks like an orange peel. Look at that. How cool is that? Imagine what it took to make that. And the different minerals there. Look at that line of almost orange there. And all the way around. It was compressed so hard at that time to form that line. Insane. Like this one here. You really stop to think about it. I mean, what it took to make that, the pressures of the earth, just crazy. Yeah, I mean, just think about what's really going on in this system like this. Is mind-boggling so much. It's like almost like I contributed to like playing golf or something. It's constantly changing. Like the course you played yesterday is not the same today. The course you played this morning is not the same course. Even though you play the same course, it's not the same course as it is in the evening. Everything changes. It's constantly evolving and changing. That's what keeps me intrigued. That's what keeps me in here. Because if it wasn't doing that, I would just be like, eh. And it's kind of like, that's why I love golf. I love playing poker. Poker's the same way. You can't, you just got to play. You know what I mean? There's no really winning to it. It's just, you can win in poker, I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, the game is a lot of luck. A lot of cards involved, but golf is also a lot of luck, a lot of skill, but can't be beat. Can't be beat. I don't know if anybody will ever shoot, 18 birdies in a row. Probably never going to happen. I'd like to see it. So would be cool to see. But anyway, yeah, let's see what we got going on. And tonight we're gonna go a little deeper. 6 o'clock. We'll go a little deeper down there, and we'll get to see what what's coming out the butthole of a springtail. So we'll go that deep. You know what I mean? Like, what's in a springtail poo? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. So, that being said, we'll see you at 6 o'clock. I hope you can make it and have a great rest of your day. Check out apsusoil.com. We'll see you tonight. Peace.